Flint Lockwood dreamt of becoming a great scientist. From his treehouse laboratory, he invented wonderful gizmos like spray-on shoes, rat birds, a flying car, and a monkey thought translator. But nobody took Flint seriously.
Everyone just thinks I'm a weirdo,
he said.
The world needs your originality, Flint. You just have to grow into it.
His mom reassured him.
From that moment on, I was determined to invent something great,
Flint recalled.
My dream was to help my hometown, a tiny island hidden under the A in Atlantic, called Swallow Falls. We were famous for sardines, until the day the Baby Brent sardine cannery closed for good. Soon, all of us were stuck eating the sardines that no one else wanted. Life became gray and flavorless.
Years later, Flint dashed around a futuristic lab making final preparations for his greatest invention yet, a machine that turned water into food. His trusty lab partner was a monkey named Steve.
Everyone is going to love this,
Flint said. Suddenly, a huge spark of electricity shocked Flint. Power surged through the lab and escaped outside. Flint caused a blackout at his dad's house.
Don't you think it's time to give up this inventing thing? Get a real job?
Flint's dad, Tim, asked.
No, why?
Flint responded.
All your technology stuff, it ends in disaster. I want you to work full-time at the tackle shop,
Tim said.
Oh, Dad!
Flint protested.
No more inventing.
Tim said firmly.
Dad, I know I can do this, and Mom did too.
Flint cried. Meanwhile, at Sardine Circle, the mayor unveiled his plan to save the town.
Under this tarp is the greatest tourist attraction ever built by humans.
He grandly promised to the cheering crowd.
And I've arranged for live coverage from a major network and their most experienced professional reporter,
the mayor boasted. In reality, the network sent a young intern named Sam Sparks to cover the story. At the tackle shop, Flint offered to watch over the store so Tim could attend the mayor's announcement. As soon as he was alone, Flint snuck out and headed towards the town power station. He was going to prove his invention worked. Flint maneuvered past the town policeman, Earl, and arrived at a massive electrical tower. He climbed up while carrying a bundle of jumper cables.
This is a great idea,
he told himself. At Sardine Circle, news reporter Sam Sparks nervously began her first national broadcast.
Hello, Sam Sparks, I'm America!
She fumbled.
Well, let's just go to the mayor.
So here it is, the attraction the whole world has been waiting for, Sardine Land!
The mayor chortled. The lazy local celebrity, Baby Brent, strutted on stage in a diaper to cut the ribbon, revealing a tiny sardine-themed water park. At the same time, Flint attached jumper cables to large, sparking electrical coils at the top of the tower. Flint shocked himself and was hurtled to the ground. Flint popped up and connected a jumper cable to the top of his food machine.
Cheeseburger,
the flitsimeter said before it unexpectedly rocketed away, dragging Flint helplessly behind it. The machine blasted through Sardine Circle. People jumped out of the way as it tore through the crowd. Flint clung to a jumper cable for dear life.
Sorry!
He called. The jumper cable snapped, launching the flitsimeter high into the sky. The stunned crowd surveyed the rubble of Sardine Land and turned their backs on Flint in disappointment. Flint hid on a ladder with Steve below the dock, but Sam stumbled upon him. Flint was immediately smitten with her.
My whole career was ruined by some crazy jerk riding a homemade rocket,
she complained. Suddenly, a realization hit Sam.
You hit me with a rocket!
Before Flint could explain, dark clouds rolled in and cheeseburgers poured from the sky. Flint looked up in awe.
My machine works,
he said in disbelief. Sam raced back to Sardine Circle and found her cameraman, Manny. On live TV, she reported,
Okay, everybody, you are not going to believe this one, but I am standing in the middle of a burger rain!
This could be even bigger than Sardine Land,
the mayor said excitedly. Sam turned to Flint.
Can you make it rain food again?
Town cop Earl groaned.
Oh, you gotta be kidding!
But Sam was determined.
Please?
She pleaded. Unable to say no to her, Flint agreed.
Yes!
The whole town was bubbling with excitement as Flint took Sam and Manny back to his lab. Tim was skeptical, however.
Dad, just give me one more chance.
Flint begged. Tim grumbled.
Cheeseburgers from the sky, that's not natural.
He told his son.
My invention could save the whole town. Plus, there's a girl here.
Flint softly confided.
All right.
Tim conceded.
Thanks, Dad.
Flint whooped as he led Sam and Manny into the lab. Flint demonstrated how the flidsimidifer worked and explained that it could generate any food.
How about Jell-O?
Sam asked. Flint got excited.
I love Jell-O too. Oh, and peanut butter, right?
Oh, no, I'm severely allergic to peanuts.
Sam responded. Flint thought quickly and transmitted a breakfast order to the flying flidsimidifer.
Gummy bears!
Steve said through the monkey thought translator.
Well, those cheeseburgers were only the beginning because a breakfast system is on its way to Swallow Falls. My forecast? Sunny. Side up.
Sam reported. Swallow Falls was bombarded with delicious breakfast food. That day, the mayor instructed Flint to make it rain food for 30 straight days because he was turning the town into a tourist destination for food lovers. He even renamed the town Chew and Swallow. Flint took requests for every conceivable type of food. The smorgasbord never ended as the flidsimidifer rained down delicious morsels 3 times a day. The mayor ate too much and grew larger and larger.
Leftovers? Not a problem with Flint Lockwood's latest invention, the out-of-sighter.
Sam explained on camera. Flint had created a giant catapult that flung uneaten leftovers to the top of a hill outside of town. One day, town cop Earl went to Flint with a request.
It's my son Cal's birthday tomorrow, and I was just wondering if you could make it rain something special.
He asked sheepishly.
Well, I'm pretty backed up on requests. Plus, you're always mean to me.
Flint replied. As Earl walked away, Flint had a change of heart and decided to treat Earl's son to an ice cream snow day. The next morning, Earl took Cal sledding down a huge scoop of mint. Chew and Swallow was blanketed in 31 flavors of ice cream. Kids gobbled up as much as they could eat. Then they started snowball fights. Sam reported the ice cream snow to the entire world and invited everyone to board a cruise ship and head to Chew and Swallow. The mayor's plan was working. Flint finally worked up the nerve to ask Sam on a date. He took her to a giant Jell-O mold he built for her in the middle of the night.
Oh, Jell-O's my favorite.
Sam said in delight.
It's a solid, it's a liquid, it's a viscoelastic polymer made of polypeptide chains. Would you eat it?
Realizing that she revealed more about her love of science than she wanted to, Sam continued,
I mean, it tastes good.
Flint cocked his head and looked at Sam. He asked her why she pretended to be less smart than she really was. Looking down, Sam responded,
When I was a little girl, I wore a ponytail, I had glasses, and I was totally obsessed with the science of weather.
She said. Sam said that kids used to tease her and call her Four Eyes. Flint placed Sam's glasses on her face.
Wow. I mean, you were okay before, but now, you're beautiful,
he said. He liked how smart she was. As the sun set through the Jell-O mold, Flint leaned in for a kiss. Suddenly, his phone rang.
Oh, it's a mayor.
Flint said.
I'm so sorry. It's really important.
He explained to Sam. He had to go to his lab. On his way there, Flint noticed an enormous hot dog on the road.
These are big hot dogs,
he said worriedly. Back at the lab, Steve was playing with the mustard.
Yellow!
He said.
You're right, Steve. The dangometer is in the yellow,
Flint said. The mayor unexpectedly appeared and assured Flint that there was nothing to worry about.
I mean, bigger is better, right?
Flint asked against his better judgment.
Oh, yeah.
The mayor chuckled. The next day, visitors streamed off of cruise ships into town.
Who's hungry? Welcome, tourists, to Chew and Swallow,
the mayor called.
That is one big mayor.
A tourist cracked. The celebration was underway.
And without further ado, our town's hero and my metaphorical son, Flint Lockwood,
the mayor said. Flint dramatically cut the ribbon to cheers from the crowd. Later, Sam confronted Flint.
There
There's a problem. I think the food's getting bigger.
she said. She thought he might need to turn off the flidsimidifer. Flint looked appalled.
The first time in my life, everybody loves something that I've done.
He said in defense.
Danger! Danger! Danger!
Steve cried. Flint's face dropped when he looked up to see a massive spaghetti tornado heading straight for the town.
Mamma mia.
Flint cried as he dashed back to the lab. Sam was right. Flint rushed inside to find the mayor ordering food at a computer.
I've got to stop the machine. Everyone's in danger because of me.
Flint said,
Oh, it can't be that bad.
said the mayor. Flint entered the kill code to shut down the flidsimidifer. But nothing happened.
What exactly did you order?
Flint asked,
A Vegas-style all-you-can-eat buffet?
replied the ever more plump mayor. Flint's dad, Tim, searched for Flint and found him curled up in a trash can.
Well, I tried to help everybody, but instead I ruined everything.
Flint said despondently. Tim looked at his son and encouraged.
Well, when it rains, you put on a coat.
Tim handed Flint the lab coat his mom had given him as a boy. Flint took a breath.
Come on, Steve. We've got Diem to carpe,
he said, filled with new resolve. Then he loaded the flidsimidifer kill code onto a small data drive. Flint drove his flying car into town and apologized to everyone. Then he showed them the small drive.
I will fly up into that food storm, plug it into the machine, and shut it down forever,
he said. The mayor realized this would ruin his plans and shouted,
This is all his fault! Get him!
Flint and Steve jumped into the flying car for safety from the crowd.
Hey! This mess we're in is all our fault.
Earl exclaimed. Flint, Sam, Manny, and Steve piled into the flying car.
I'm coming too!
Baby Brent said.
I've been coasting on my fame since I was a baby. Maybe up there, I'll find out who I really am.
They took off towards the menacing food storm. Through a pea soup fog, they could see a giant meatball asteroid that had grown around the flidsimidifer. The meteoroid shot a slice of mushroom pizza from its blowhole. It broke through the window and knocked the data drive out of Flint's hand.
Uh-oh!
Baby Brent said as the drive fell through the sky. Flint called his dad for help.
I just need you to go into my lab, get on my computer, and email a file to my cell phone.
Flint told Tim from his cell phone. Tim tried, but instead of the kill code, he sent a funny cat video. He just didn't understand technology. The flying car flipped upside down. Flint and Sam jumped out and into the intake hole that sucked clouds into the meteoroid. For some reason, Baby Brent leapt out too. Flint and Sam landed inside a giant food cavern. They headed towards the flidsimidifer at the center of the meteoroid when a fearful Baby Brent stumbled into them accidentally. After gaining their bearings, the group surveyed their surroundings. Sam pinpointed the location of the flidsimidifer. Back at Chew and Swallow, the dam holding the leftovers at the top of the hill was going to burst. Earl led an evacuation using boats made of bread.
Everybody head to the docks!
He called. The mayor stole the first boat and sailed away.
Bon voyage! And bon appetit!
He said while chomping on his bread boat. But Earl managed to get everyone safely away in the remaining boats by sailing south, away from the food storm. Chew and Swallow wasn't the only place being plagued by food storms. All across the globe, torrential food rained down on unsuspecting cities. In Paris, a colossal sandwich fell onto the Eiffel Tower. The flidsimidifer had to be stopped. On the meteoroid, huge roasted chickens ominously surrounded the group.
I don't know, I think they're kind of cute.
Brent said. Suddenly, a chicken swallowed Brent in one big gulp. Terrified, Flint and Sam started to run away when Brent popped his head out of the chicken and wore it like a costume.
I'm not Baby Brent anymore. I'm Chicken Brent!
Baby Brent declared triumphantly. Brent held off the other chickens while Flint and Sam escaped. They came upon a ravine with razor-sharp stalactites.
That's peanut brittle.
Sam realized she was allergic to peanuts. Using a licorice rope, Sam lowered Flint into the hole. Steam swept up through the cavern. Sam lost her grip and cut her arm, which immediately started to swell. Flint told Brent to take Sam back to the flying car and get her medicine. Sam didn't want to leave Flint behind.
Look, I like
she confessed.
Like as a friend?
Flint asked.
No, like to.
Sam replied.
Goodbye, Sam.
Flint said as he bit the licorice rope and fell into the darkness below. Brent scooped up Sam and ran back to the blowhole. They jumped out and landed with a thud on the flying car. Flint landed inside a mammoth food cave. The flidsimidifer dangled from the center of the roof. Flint silently crept towards it, but the machine shot food at him. Flint hid in a giant hot dog bun. Flint swung to the flidsimidifer on a spaghetti string.
Sorry, old friend. The kitchen's closed.
Flint sealed the machine's food hole shut with spray-on shoes. The flidsimidifer exploded in a meaty mess. Back in Chew and Swallow, the bread boats returned to shore as the flying car landed without Flint. Tim approached the car.
Flint?
He hoped.
I'm sorry.
Sam said.
Your son was a great man.
Out of nowhere, a flock of ratbirds flew down and gently dropped Flint on the ground. A relieved Tim hugged him tightly as the crowd cheered.
I love my son,
Tim said proudly. Flint hugged Sam as it rained down sunshine on their tiny